Hello Fly Nation and welcome to the Freestyle Your Life podcast, the one and only podcast inspiring you to live your authentic greatness while teaching you that less is more. I'm your host, Dennis Zimmermann, and I'm on my mission to help you to be the hero you were meant to be and to live what you came for in life and in business. Remember, the quest we came here for is to discover our true nature, explore our potential and share it by living. Hello Fly Nation, welcome to today's interview on episode number 18 with the healthy cooking coach Dolores Storness-Bliss, teaching us how foundational healthy food is to our health. By shifting our mindset and creating a family come-together environment, we reduce stress around what to have for dinner while enjoying connecting around the dinner table over delicious healthy food. Let's get inspired by Dolores how we can ease our healthy cooking. Welcome, Dolores. I'm so excited that you're here with us today, and please share what we could do better with our healthy eating and how we could integrate it in our daily task force list, to-do list. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here. I'm pleased to have an opportunity to share what I do. So, as you have introduced me and as you've talked about how so many of us are busy, that is just the way that life is these days because we have so many things that we're trying to accomplish, right?
Right. So
what it really comes down to, but our health is so important. Food is foundational to our health.
Absolutely.
So when I say foundational, if we're eating healthy food, we're building a good, strong foundation, right? But if we're not, if we're eating processed foods, then we're setting our bodies up for disease. And that's certainly not going to help us with our busy lifestyle, having to deal with that.
Not at all, because we get other problems.
Exactly.
Yes.
So the first thing that needs to happen really is we need to give it a priority. Our health has to become a priority. We are very, very busy and so many things taking our attention. But the things that we give priority are the things that we get done, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So that would be like the first step is changing in our mind how we view our health and what we all want good health, but we need to make it a priority because it just doesn't happen by itself. So the first thing to do is how we view making dinner. For many of us, dinner just arrives, and it arrives every day, right? Mm-hmm. So we're confronted with this issue of, what's for dinner? So what we need to do is change our mindset about it, set it as a priority, because for many of us, because we're so busy, it's a chore.
Yes.
It's something we have to do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're saying to ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. So what we want to do is change our language around that. We want to start saying, instead of I have to cook dinner, we want to be saying, I get to cook dinner. This is what I get to do for myself. This is what I get to do for my family. Mm-hmm. And when we can give it a priority, I think we can also look upon it as a time. We all want more time with our family. That's one of the things I think that we find when we're so busy is one of the things that we find hard to do. So if we make mealtime a priority, health a priority, a time when we are actually able to sit down and connect with our children and to find out what each person is doing. So what that means is that we need to actually book it into our schedules, right?
Right.
We book into our schedule. Anything we put time aside for is the things that we actually get done. So we need to look at our health and what we're eating as one of those priorities, one of those things that needs to go into our schedule. So I think that's the first step, is just how we look at it.
Yes.
And giving it the priority that it deserves. And then the way we can actually use it as a time to bond with our families. Yeah. What I help people to do is to set up a plan, because most time dinner arrives, people don't have a plan. And so that's what starts causing the stress. They haven't got a plan. They don't know what they're going to do. And then when you're hungry, it's time, you're under pressure.
Right.
It's hard to be always health-minded. We have, our brains, we have habits, right? And our brains just kind of give into those habits because, number one, it's used to it, it likes it, it's easy. And often the food that we're eating is something that gives us comfort. We're kind of addicted to it. Yeah. So brain just kicks in and we just follow through because we don't have the willpower, stress and busyness and all of that. We've been busy all day. That depletes our willpower and we're hungry. So if we have a plan, that means we know what we're going to eat. We've prepared for it. When mealtime rolls around, it's 5 o'clock, you know what you're cooking.
Yes. So
you've already relieved some of that stress. And the way I like to do that is to bring the family into it. In order to be able to cook a healthy meal, we do need to do some prep. Well, even small children can be involved in the prep of cutting out cucumbers and getting food ready and measuring. Yes. And so we set aside some time. A lot of people like to do it on Sunday because that's a day they're not working, but you can pick whatever day works for you. And then you bring your children into it. So now what you're doing is you're having time together, you're chatting, you're having fun, but you can also teach them about healthy eating. It can be just casual, conversational, and you talk to them, well, why do we eat all these vegetables? And then you can talk about why we eat the vegetables and showing your children how important taking care of ourselves is and how to do that. And I think that's hugely important for our health, but for our children's future.
Sorry.
And it also gives us that time together. I mean, when you're cooking together, you don't have to just be talking about healthy food. You can be talking about your day, you can be talking about your plans, your future, having fun, joking, having a good time together. So I think the first thing is to give it the priority that it deserves.
Totally. I need to have a sip of water. Go ahead.
Once we've done that, once we set aside time, then the actual planning and which doesn't have to be a big major thing. It just means picking some recipes we like, right? Writing a shopping list and going shopping. We don't have to make it a big deal.
Right.
But we do need to set aside time to do it. So we do it. We do a shopping list. We go shopping. When we have healthy food in the fridge, chances are of us eating healthier are much greater because now we've set up our environment. We're trying to create a new habit. And so we want to have the habit of cooking. Well, there's the ingredients. They're there. We've done some prep. So now we just have to follow through. So we're kind of setting ourselves up for success. Well, not more than kind of. We are setting ourselves up for success when we actually have the ingredients to cook. We have the recipe. We have the plan. So the meal can come together very quickly. And there's many easy, delicious, healthy recipes that with some prep can be put together in less than half an hour before the dinner. Or we can do the pre-prep and pre-cook and we just pull stuff out of the freezer and warm it up or however we decide to do it. But the fact is the food is there ready for us to use, to cook.
Right.
So for me...
Let me interrupt you for a second so our listeners can hear everything better. So we have been talking about to make it priority, right? That's one key thing. Not just to let it run on the side and be in chaos and stress and what we are gonna cook. For example, here with my house and two sons being 19 and 21. So when they returned from university or from work, they opened the door and they shouted, "Hungry!" Yeah, that was it. But I wasn't just the mom being at home and dreaming of thinking of what I could be cooking, but I'm an entrepreneur, had my work here, so this did end in stress, right? And they were having some sort of junk food just to have something, and they really tall grown up guys, and they were eating like crazy, big amount, but they just needed it, right? And then they come to get the power.
And they eat a lot of food when they're that size and that age too.
What do you say?
I say they eat a lot of food.
Yeah, and for me it was really crazy amounts, and it was I told them we have to come up with other ideas like this. It is not possible, and so we came to the conclusion what you just gave here as tip. I said, well, let's do this, the preparation time, or also the stuff to buy it. Doesn't have to be me only, because they are adults. They can get something from the grocery on the run from university, and what we came up is exactly what you're giving as advice to our listeners here. It's to make it first priority, but at the same time together. Exactly. Right, in preparation and in eating. So I had them they have sports and training and whatever, and me, I have interviews and all stuff. But we fixed at the end of the week, we just got the plan, and we said, okay, Tuesday and Thursday we're gonna eat together, and who wants to have whatever, and how we gonna do it. So we made exactly this plan for the tasks and for what to buy, and to really spend the time together to chat and to, because otherwise everybody's running on his own line and on his own track. And anyway, with these adult kids, you don't get too much time together, right? There's the girlfriend and the other girlfriend, and it's a mess. So that's exactly what we did, and that worked out pretty well. And me, on the other side, I had a long illness in my back now, and not because of unhealthy food. I was sort of always Mediterranean diet, because I cooked fresh, and I have lots of herbs and everything in my garden here, so I don't get it with pesticides. But there was a day my body refused everything as food. Not even that, which is sort of healthy, but no way to get the food in and to have it stay. And I did 1.5 years of detoxing with smoothies only, because my body refused everything. So that was a cleanse, right? So, but I didn't want to interrupt you. I just wanted to point it out. Exactly what we in our family did here is what you announced.
Yes. And that's the thing. And the good part of what you were saying too, is you got your sons involved. They were old enough that they could shop. They could do some of the planning. And that's great when you have teenagers, because you can actually give out some of those duties, because it shouldn't necessarily just fall to one person.
That's it. Totally. And everybody of us entrepreneurial women could do that. In my case, it was mostly because I was getting too ill to do everything. So I transferred the tasks, but everybody could do it. Why it should be the mom?
Yeah, exactly. And, that's good training for them too.
Yes.
Because, I consider eating as a survival skill. Cooking is really a survival skill, right?
Yes.
And how to do that and how to do it healthily is really a survival skill that our kids need to learn. So the more we can involve them in that, the better. And then if you're a single mom, then of course it falls to you to make that happen and organize it. But if you're a couple, it shouldn't just fall to one or the other. It's a thing that they can do together. And again, that's a time together. View it as time together in a positive way. And I think that really helps shift that, looking upon it as a chore. That's really the first place to start, and get that shifted around into a good family time and a healthy time. And it's a huge part. And it does take time. And I think we just have to acknowledge that we are going to have to give it time. And if there isn't time, maybe we need to look at some things that aren't as beneficial and productive and healthy to give those things up. So it's really making a priority of how you're going to spend your time, which I think is so important, because it's very easy to get stuck on social media or on the phone, and your time just goes by, and to make your priority for your health and for your family.
Right. But that was what I did with my partner, actually, because he doesn't really know how to cook. But he was preparing potatoes, whatever needs to be cut. And I was doing the rest on the other side. So we were together in the kitchen and chatting and, making dinner fun, preparation of dinner fun. Right. And we spent time together.
Yes. And see, a lot of people have their kids enrolled in so many different activities outside the home, which really creates that extra busyness. And I do think it's important to have the kids in some activities, but I don't think every minute should be organized and regulated. Kids need some time at home with the family, downtime. And if you remove some of those extracurricular activities and make the family activity as part of something you're going to do, and make that a priority, I think that's actually very important as well, because you do want that bond. You do need that bond, and kids need that too.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
useful.
What I do is for people, some people don't know how to cook either. And so what I do is I support, with my program, I support people to shift that, because it's really hard if you're busy to kind of get planning part in place. That's kind of a key part, and it does take stopping and pulling back a bit from the busyness and putting that together, but sometimes that's a hard one for people to do. So with my program, I support them in that. I've prepared the menus and the recipes and the shopping lists, and then what I do, so I support them with that, and they just follow that. They don't have to do any planning. They just have to go shopping, and they need to set aside their time, prioritize that, and then set aside some time to prep. So I've created just a simple system that if people follow it every week, it starts to create the habit. So what I'm proposing here is that really we have habits around dinner already that are taking time, that are not serving us. So if we are, say, coming off of work and we think, oh yeah, what's for dinner? And then we end up going to the store and we're walking around planning and shopping. That takes time, right? Even though we're not cooking it, we're still taking time getting it.
Exactly.
Or if we're home and 5 o'clock and kids are starting to say what's for dinner, and we're looking in the fridge hoping for inspiration, but there really isn't anything there, and we order in, we're still waiting for that meal to come.
Right.
Or if we go to a restaurant, or if we go through the drive-through, we're still waiting for our meal. So what I is getting people to get them to see how to reallocate time already spent into time for cooking the healthy meal. Because in the time that you're waiting for a pizza to be delivered, you could actually cook a healthy meal. And I keep my meals very simple. I'm not talking gourmet. They're healthy. They're simple. They're balanced. They have lots of vegetables, and they're easy to put together. So I keep cooking very simple, very basic, nothing elaborate, and easily can be done in half an hour to 40 minutes, which is time spent maybe walking around and shopping and waiting in the line to pay, or waiting in a restaurant, or waiting for an order. So it's really a way of looking at what time you're already spending and finding how to shift that to a healthy.
Yeah, that's great. Yes. And also what I shifted is just to to sit together with my sons here and think over what do you want, what do you want, what I wanted, and then make a plan for the week and go together shopping once. So everything is in the house or stored in the basement or wherever, in the fridge. And so because keep on running to buy something, a little thing, the next day again, this keeps too much time and waiting in the line and whatever. So we did a big shopping once a week.
Yes.
And I just invited them, well, we're going to share this together. And everybody has his wish and could say what he likes to eat. And that's what's on, right? So we really did share all these tasks and the cooking together. Yeah.
And that you found that just took care of that stressful part of never having food ready, right? It just relieves a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, and gives you, of course, that focus and that family time, which is so important.
Yeah. Totally. And what I also did, if we have goulash or whatever big meals here, and I did cook more. So we had the next. My sons don't like to eat twice the same thing. It's a luxury problem, but they don't like it. But I did cook even more for the day after tomorrow, right? So. This is helpful too. Yes, it is. And the thing is too, when you cook more, that's what I do with my program is teach people how to cook more. So say we're cooking quinoa. One night we might just eat it as the grain with chicken or something. And then maybe a day or two later, it'll become part of a salad and then into a casserole. So it's actually being transformed into maybe 3 different meals. So it's not like you're eating the same thing all the time, but you are using the base ingredients, which means you're doing less shopping. You're buying less things that can go bad. Because if you're trying to do a different meal every night, you're buying stuff for each of those meals. Lots of times it's left over and there's waste. Yes.
So what I do with my plan is I cook less, and make it into different
integrate in other dishes,
meals, right? Yeah. So even though the ingredients are basically the same, they don't taste the same, they don't look the same because they're done differently, and that works really well because you're using things up, you're not buying as much. And you have it already cooked, so it's easy enough to mix together a salad because you've already chopped all the vegetables and you've got the quinoa cooked. So you mix it up, toss it with some dressing, and there's a salad. And if you have some leftover meat, can go with it. So there's just ways to really incorporate the same ingredients in different ways.
Exactly.
So less work, less cleanup. A wonderful part about that, doing your prep and things ahead of time, is a lot less cleanup. And that's an issue a lot of times for people too. They're tired. They don't want to clean up a lot of cleanup at the end of the day. So I try to make all my mess at the prep time, and then we just clean everything up. And then when it comes to actually doing the meal, more just stirring things together. So maybe 1 bowl or 2 bowls or something like that. So, it just really, really cuts down on the work as well.
Right. Totally agree.
So lots of benefits.
And you have this in your course, of course. We'll put that in the show notes so the listeners can look it up, because just hearing now you can grab it. But you're also writing your book on that, right? Well,
I have written a cookbook. Which is just an ebook, because I had an organic cafe for 10 years, and customers would always ask me for recipes. Like, love my soup or something. And I said, well, I don't give out recipes, but when I sell the cafe, I'll write a cookbook. So I did that. I just asked them for their email and their favorite recipes. So my cookbook is just the favorite recipes that customers asked for.
Oh, that's great.
And at this point, it's just an ebook. I haven't I haven't published it or anything like that. And I want to do some work. Right now, it's more just the recipe pages, and I'd like to do a little bit more with it before I publish it.
Okay.
But that's the book that I've got there, sort of semi-finished.
Yeah, but this is a brilliant idea, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, you had the cafe running there, and why did you give it up?
Well, my age, for one thing. We were starting to get burned out. It was 10 years of hard work. There were some other issues as well. Like our kids had moved to Kelowna and now we had a grandchild, which we weren't seeing very much.
Okay.
And I was 65 when I had said I would work there till 65, and my husband was already almost 70. So we felt like it was time.
Yes.
But I was very kind of committed. What I did discover from my customers, because we got to know our customers, and what I would ask them, they say, well, we just love your healthy food, but I can't afford to eat here all the time because it was organic. And I said, well, why don't you cook it? Oh, well, I don't know how to cook. I don't have time. So when I sold, I thought, really, I felt like I should help people to learn how to cook very simple, healthy meals.
Right.
So we weren't, because if you can't afford it, then you're not, and you can't afford to buy it, then you end up eating stuff that is not as healthy for you. So it then became my mission to really help people to be able to cook simply and easily for themselves. And I came to realize it's really about habits, a lot of it.
Nearly everything, Dolores. Nearly everything we do
is a habit, based on habit.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think that's the other point I would like to emphasize here. Once it becomes a habit, habits are easy, right? Our brain just kicks in and we do them, right? Because that's what we do. Well, once you start cooking, you get a routine and a system in place, that becomes a habit and it's not hard anymore. And I think that's what a lot of people have to believe is that, well, it's hard. It's exhausting. I don't know how to do it. But by creating a habit of cooking simple, healthy meals and implementing that system and following that system until it's just what you do. For me, that's just what I do. I don't think about it's just, okay, what are we going to have for supper? All right, this is my plan. Tonight we'll do this. And I've got everything in my fridge and my freezer. So it really difficulty. It's just what I do. It's my habit. Every night, this is what I do. And I think that's what people, I think once they realize that, once it becomes a priority and they've created the habit, it becomes easy. It's just something that flows with what you do. It isn't a task that you really have to struggle over anymore.
Right, I totally agree. And things we get a headache from, they just eased up, right? So there's no big deal anymore. So that's what freestyle your life is all about, right? We've built so many unconscious habits which are just running because we have done them over and over and over again. But like eating junk food or processed food, we all know that is not healthy at all. And that will cause other problems with health or even illness. And but we still go on doing that, right? Because just the problem we are discussing here, I'm busy already and I don't have the time and how am I gonna do it and everything. But it's all about noticing, becoming aware what's going on, observing what's going on, and then of skipping habits that are not useful and just building new habits, like you just educated us, taught us how to do it, right? So once it becomes a new habit to just how we just figured out to sit together, to prepare together, to split the buying part. Then it becomes easy, it becomes a new habit, and it's fun also.
Right, exactly. And see, the other thing for people, I think, to understand is sometimes it's a bit hard at first to establish a new habit, but you just need to be committed to it. You just need to put aside the time, really making time for it, and then just doing it, following through.
Yeah.
Following through. It's just like any habit, it's daily actions. What
Right.
you do every day helps to build that habit.
Yeah.
And if you don't, if things happen and, things go south pretty easily, some days everything just falls apart, well, then you just pick up and carry on again the next day. You just don't throw in the towel. You just keep going, right? Just keep doing it. And it's pretty soon it becomes your way of life. And that's the important part, is to look upon it as, this is my way of life. This is what I want for myself. This is the health, the things that I choose for myself. Mm-hmm. It's making decisions for ourselves, not just being ruled by habits that don't work for us.
Right. And that's we are really in need to wake up here and to step up also, and to just skip things that are not good any longer, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's part of that mindfulness, isn't it? It's just kind of looking at your life and saying, okay, what kind of person do I want to be? Well, I want to be a healthy person. All right, in order to be a healthy person, I need to cook healthy meals. Mm-hmm. And so we start to identify as being a healthy person. It's like our identity. And when we start to say to ourselves, I am a healthy person, I do cook healthy meals, I do look after my family. When we start to say those things to ourselves and start to change it, what it does is changes our identity, our habit. We start to say what we want to be. We start to take those actions start to reinforce, and then we become who we want to be, right?
Exactly.
Excuse me.
Thanks for pointing that out. That is very crucial.
Yes, I think when people can see it that way, it's not just fighting against those habits or those, because we can start to really become addicted to those fast foods. And want them because that's what the brain is used to, and it gives that dopamine rush that it needs. So I think if we can view this in the full picture of it being taking charge, taking control, changing what we're doing, becoming who we want to be. When we can see things in that way, then it's easier for us to give up at that moment, the desire to, maybe we're a little tired and we decide we want to go through the drive-through or go buy some fast food or something. It keeps us on track to become who we want to be. And there's probably times when we slip, but we just pick up and keep going. We don't just beat ourselves up and say, oh, throw in the towel, that's it. No, next day we just do it.
Try again. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Because we all know the studies now, and surely our listeners too, that the junk food and all the processed food is not at all healthy, even worse, right? Because there's nothing the body can provide.
No, exactly, and it's just all about a system to provide money for the big food companies. Nothing to do with health or anything that's real that our body needs. It's just supporting a system of disease, really.
Right. That's it. Okay, so what else did you want to point out?
Well, I would like to invite any of your listeners to join my Facebook group, and it's called Busy Entrepreneurs Healthy Kitchen. And it's for anybody. It's not just entrepreneurs, professionals, moms, anybody that's interested and join. And in that group, I do have little training videos and just different things that can help people. They can ask questions. They can supply answers to people if they have something that they are doing that people would help people. They can post pictures of something healthy that they cook. They can post pictures of their families together. Can you?
Well, that's great. That's great. Because you get sort of support. You feel you're not alone, right? On this journey. We're gonna put this in the show notes so the listeners can look it up. Everything okay on your side there?
Well, all of a sudden you disappeared, and I don't know what happened here.
Oh.
That was strange. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know. I don't know why it went to just a Zoom page for me to sign up.
Oh.
Oh, sometimes this technology is fun. Oh, well, can you see me still, though?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then that's
on my side.
Worry about it. We'll just carry on. I can't see you, but that's all right.
Okay. So what I just pointed out, we will put the Facebook group in the show notes so the listeners can look it up exactly.
Yes, and for anybody who wants to join my group, I do have a free opt-in in there that they can grab. It's called Healthy Eating, Eat Healthily and Save Money Too. And I've got 13 points of ways that you can change to eating more healthily, by giving up purchasing junk food and focusing on buying healthy ingredients, ways that you can do that.
Okay, great.
And help save money. Because a lot of people worry about going organic because organic is more expensive. But there's ways that you can offset that cost. And the other thing is there is a cost to eating unhealthily, maybe not today, but in the future in your health.
Definitely.
You're going to pay for it. So that's significant and often much more expensive and much more of a trauma to you. Yes. So I have that. There's a freebie. I just have a few, a link in there, but to my website has given me a little bit of techie issues, which support is fixing. So if it's not working at this moment, it will be shortly. Okay. So people are welcome to join my group. It's a private group, so just ask to join, and I'll accept you. And then anything that's in there is available for people to use to help them with their cooking journey. And I will be also running my course again in a couple of weeks, so I'll be putting information in there so that people can sign up if they like to, and they can ask questions, and they can even sign up for a free consultation with me where we can talk about what their goals are for their health, any blocks that they're experiencing, and then some solutions for them. And if I know of a solution that maybe that mine isn't the best for them, then I can refer them to somebody else that can help them.
Yeah, I love that because we agreed upon that you're gonna throw this into the lottery pot, right? For our listeners, they can win prizes and use through the one-on-one strategy call in there. So thanks a lot for that, because that is obviously very helpful, right?
Well, and the thing to realize is it's a no pressure call. A lot of people are maybe afraid they'll get pushed into something, but that's not my purpose. My purpose is to help them to see what they want to do and need to do, and find a way for that to help them and the best person to work with for them.
Yeah, no, that's wonderful, Dolores. So grateful for that. And I highly admire your work and throwing this in. And so we put all that in the lottery, in the lottery pot, and in the show notes, all what we just talked about. And is there anything you want to add before wrapping up this talk here?
No, I think I've basically
cover all
the importance of the priority and to understand his habits. And I think that's great. And I really appreciate the fact of you inviting me here to be able to talk about it. So thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thanks for being here. And well, my listeners, that was it. That was the talk with Dolores and how we could manage to be eating healthy and not stressed out by that fact. So thanks again, Dolores, for being here. Greetings to Canada.
Thank you.
I hope I will shortly come down there because my son is there. And he's so fascinated from Canada. Oh, the people are so nice and lovely and chilled. And right here is sort of stressed out in the Frankfurt area. So greetings to beautiful Canada.
We have a lot of space here, a lot of place for people to roam and reconnect with nature. And I think that's a big thing too.
But he's a young guy. He wasn't so much a fan with nature before when he was here. But right now he's fascinated by it, and I get pictures on WhatsApp wherever he is, and he's actually in Whistler, which is just beautiful panoramic view there. It's just from getting the pictures, I'm curious to go there, right?
Right, it is beautiful. Whistler is beautiful, and Canada has so many different landscapes, so much variety.
Yeah.
That it's a lot to see here.
I'll be coming soon.
Excellent.
Okay. Thanks again for talking, and we'll provide everything in the show notes. Fly Nation, thanks for listening in today. This was Dolores Storness-Bliss inspiring us how we can ease healthy cooking by involving everybody and making it an enjoyable family come together. Surely this episode with Dolores on how to ease healthy cooking inspired you to break free of the duty of cooking all alone and to do the necessary changes and involving the kids. Feel free to share the Fly podcast with your friends and other busy people who might also profit from the tips revealed as they are struggling to bring healthy food on the dinner table. Don't forget to subscribe to be sure to catch your next success story with Michael Kuberti, teaching us the latest social media shortcuts to success on episode number 19, airing on Thursday. Please rate and review either on freestyleyourlifepodcast.com or on your favorite podcast directory, such as iTunes, Stitcher, or Spotify. You can always find all links and recaps in the show notes description on freestyleyourlifepodcast.com. Have a great day and go for your dreams. Remember, Fly Nation, break free and fly. Talk to you on Thursday. Bye.